Imagine this, a man who changed the world not once, but 1,093 times. He was kicked out of school, lost his hearing, and saw his laboratory go up in flames. But he never gave up. He started over, again and again, and every time he made history. Today we'll show you how one man lit up the world, launched the era of cinema, and gave up sleep itself to invent the future. Fact 1. He was expelled from school, but that day history was written. Thomas Edison attended school for only 3 months. His teacher called him mentally slow. Why? Because Edison wouldn't stop asking questions. He challenged everything the teacher said. In that era, curiosity was seen as disrespect. One day, young Edison came home with a sealed letter from the school. He handed it to his mother and asked, "Mom, what does it say?" His mother read the letter, teared up, then smiled and said, "It says you're too gifted for this school. They can't teach someone like you, so I will teach you myself." And that's exactly what she did. Nancy Edison began homeschooling her son. Her faith, love, and patience helped uncover the genius within him. Years later, when Edison had become one of the greatest inventors in history, he found that same letter again, and he read the truth for the first time. Your son is mentally deficient. He cannot be taught at our school. That day, Edison wrote in his journal, "I was a mentally slow child, but my mother turned me into a genius." Fact 2, his first invention came at age 12, and it all began on a moving train. At age 12, most kids are just beginning to figure out life, but Edison was already working. He sold newspapers and candy on a train, but that wasn't enough for his brilliant mind. In the train's baggage car, he set up his own mini laboratory. Yes, you heard right. A moving train became his shop, newsroom, and science lab. He even launched a small printing press inside the train and published a newspaper called the Grand Trunk Herald, the first newspaper ever printed on a train. But one day, chemicals spilled during an experiment, causing a fire. The train workers beat him and threw him off the train, but even that couldn't stop him. Fact 3, he couldn't hear, but it became his secret weapon. Edison was nearly deaf. For many, that would be a curse, but for him, it was a gift in disguise. His hearing loss began in childhood, worsened by illness, and later, a violent blow to the ear by a train conductor during that infamous fire. But Edison never complained. Instead, he said, "I can't hear, so I think better. The world is quiet, and that helps the ideas come." To Edison, silence was not a weakness. It was a superpower. Fact 4, Edison didn't invent the light bulb, but he brought it to the world. Most people believe Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, but that's not entirely true. The electric light existed before Edison. So what was the problem? It burned out quickly, was expensive, unstable, and completely impractical for everyday use. Edison solved this problem with genius. He created a cheaper, longer-lasting, and practical light bulb. After countless nights and hundreds of failed experiments, he finally developed a carbon filament bulb. And in 1879, it stayed lit for more than 13 hours. But he didn't just invent a bulb. He created a whole system to light up entire cities. As Edison reportedly said, "I didn't invent the light bulb. I made it possible for everyone." Fact 5, he held 1,093 patents. His brain worked like a factory. Thomas Edison didn't just invent a few gadgets. He became one of the most prolific inventors in history, with 1,093 patents to his name. Yes, 1,093. That means Edison got a new patent roughly every 11 days. Some people don't have a single great idea in their lifetime. Edison had hundreds every year. Some of his most famous inventions include the electric light bulb, the phonograph, the first sound recording device, the movie projector, electrical distribution systems, the dictaphone, and hundreds more. He once said, "I never work, I only have fun." Most of these inventions weren't made alone. He worked with a large team in a laboratory that functioned like a real invention factory. His goal wasn't just to invent something. He wanted to change the world. And that number, 1,093, proves just how massively he impacted it. Fact 6. Edison's job interview test. Just a bowl of soup. When you think of Thomas Edison, you think of inventions, light bulbs, maybe genius. But did you know how he hired people? No CVS, no degrees, no long interviews. Instead, Edison would place a bowl of hot soup in front of the candidate and just watch. If the person added salt without tasting it first, Edison would immediately say, "Thank you, you're not the one I'm looking for." Why? Because to him, acting without thinking, making a decision without testing, was a major flaw. He believed, if you judge a bowl of soup without tasting it, will you reject a new idea just as blindly? Fact 7. He only slept 4 hours a day because sleep was a waste of time. For Thomas Edison, time equals invention. He was so productive that he only slept 4 hours a day. Yes, you heard that right. He spent up to 20 hours a day working, experimenting, inventing. He once said, "Sleep is a habit of weak people. I hate wasting time." For him, every minute could bring a new idea, so he refused to waste it on sleep. Sometimes he'd just lie down on the lab floor for a quick nap, then jump right back into work. His colleagues said he wasn't human. He was like an energy machine. And what did that machine produce? Thousands of patents, dozens of technological revolutions, and a legacy that changed the world. Interestingly, some researchers believe his ability to function with so little sleep might have been due to a unique internal biological clock. Fact 8. Edison wasn't afraid of the dark because he lit it up. Thomas Edison changed the darkness of the world with light, but as a child, darkness wasn't something he feared. In fact, he loved thinking and experimenting in the dark. He once said, "Darkness brings me silence, and silence is where ideas are born." That's one of the reasons he worked day and night. His lab would sometimes stay lit until morning, because for Edison, night was just a second day. Maybe that's why he created the world's first continuous lighting system. He didn't just invent the bulb, he lit up humanity's darkness. Fact 9, he built the first power station on a street, and people ran away in fear. In 1882, Edison launched the world's first electric power station in New York. It supplied direct electricity to a street called Pearl Street. People had never seen anything like it. Suddenly, homes, offices, even the streets, lit up all at once. At first, people were amazed, then terrified. Some believed the electric current was demonic. Others ran out of their houses shouting, "There are spirits inside the light." But Edison didn't back down. He proved that electricity wasn't danger, it was the future. And that very street lighting system became the first in the world. Fact 10, his entire lab burned down, and he smiled. In 1914, Edison's massive lab in New Jersey burned to the ground. Years of tools, notes, and inventions, gone in one night. He was 67 years old at the time. Most would have broken under the weight of such loss, but not Edison. He told his son, "Go get your mother. She'll never see a fire like this again." Yes, he watched the fire with wonder. Then he shocked everyone by saying, "All our mistakes have burned. Now we can start clean." Unbelievable, isn't it? After the fire, he didn't slow down. In just 1 year, he bounced back with new inventions. That was his true power, never fearing to start again. He didn't just invent. He found light inside the darkness. If there's one lesson from Edison's life, it's this. Even if you fall, even if you burn to ashes, you can rise again with just one idea. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.